guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hate Journals. It's your girl Black Mamba and of course the wonderful AP.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello. Happy day.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday today.
You know what next Sunday is? My B-Day, bitch. So, I'm gonna be
oh my
38
God.
years old. 38. And I look fly. Like, I'm okay with it.
Oh my God, you know what? If you wouldn't have told me that, I might have forgot.
Cheekbones on the rise. You know what I mean? Attitude higher than it's ever been.
Wow.
Yeah.
38, dude.
Yeah.
The big 3-0.
The big 3-0. Someone told me that women hit their most beautiful between the ages of 35 and 41. I said that's got to be true.
I've never heard that, but you know what?
You
are actually approving. Like I don't necessarily agree with that in general. Like my gut check says nay, but you are paving the way.
My brand is just
like legitimately. Yeah. And I knew you 10 years ago, so I'm not blowing smoke up your ass for sure.
No, it's like, only gotten better.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean that in a loving way.
Yeah, no, I'm into it.
I mean, you've seen some of the phases.
Well, you know what it is? It's almost like your body goes through this period where like you know when you're getting out of high school and you're getting into college and you're shedding that baby weight, it's almost like you're shedding that 20s like look almost. That look almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that I necessarily have changed. I just feel like my body is definitely going into grown ass womanhood. Like there's no more I can stay out and drink until 5 a.m, 3 days a week.
Yeah, 3 days. I might have like a once a monther in me for sure.
I've got a once a month or maybe twice a month if I time it right.
The only reason I don't stay out all night drinking now, once a month even, is because like the punishment of going home is too severe.
Yeah.
And I mean that on every fucking level. I mean that with the husband and his annoyance. I mean it with the kids and their annoyance.
Yeah.
I mean it with like my body and its utter rejection of what is to be, which is called life.
Yeah.
So that it's just like risk, reward, got to pay to play.
Yes.
And I'm not paying anymore.
Yeah, I don't have the pay to play other than the way that my body feels. And I also have to like, I think COVID's made it pretty obvious to me now that I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, COVID made it. They were like, COVID was like, look what happens when you stay home consecutively and just drink water and a couple cocktails. How about just 3 cocktails?
3.
Just 3.
Because it's like weird to drink more at home alone. Like you are gauging, like it's one thing when you're just like sipping and chatting and there's energy and like movement around.
Right.
It is an entirely different thing to go to the kitchen 3 to 5 times.
Right. Or you're so tipsy. Like I've done that where it
like,
snuck up on me and I'm like, oh, I can't make it to my bed.
Yeah.
Like that's when you have to start having some internal dialogue. Like, hey, what's going on?
That's called self-awareness.
That's it. So yeah, if anything, I've realized that I'm
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
I'm
your
a grown-ass
birthday is
bitch.
next Sunday. We're going to have to...
You know, I'm always down for a good party.
Woo.
Yeah, I don't need an excuse to drink.
I do.
Oh, I do not. And I like this age too because I'm finding it that I'm less apologetic for the bullshit. Like I literally don't care anymore. Like I legit don't. Like if you're not bringing something.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Like something like a basket of biscuits.
Yeah.
Then I'm just not trying to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like I don't need the extra bullshit. Life is so stressful as it is. And so that's what I'm finding now that I'm more than anything. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I feel like a lot of us at this certain age hit that because it's just exhausting. I mean, honestly, like the fat trimmings fall to the end and like the scraps have to go. Yeah. And sometimes that could be one of those relationships and those friendships that like were mildly entertaining. And I hate to describe people like they're like a decent Super Bowl commercial, but sometimes they were just that. Like, you know what I mean? Like mildly entertaining.
Right.
Like you look to the right and you look to the left and you were all chuckling a bit and then you're never going to fucking think about it again.
Yes.
And unfortunately, sometimes those relationships aren't reciprocated on that same level.
Yeah.
And that is a doozy.
Well, it's awkward, if you will.
It's super awkward.
Yeah. And I feel like when I was younger, I was more concerned about what people thought. So like I know I'm a good person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what my heart is. And so it really used to bother me when people would speak negatively about me, especially if they didn't know me. Now, if you get to know me and you still think I'm a piece of shit, there's something that's on you. But like, I'm pretty awesome. I'm pretty amazing. I only say that because I know I'm not a piece of shit, right? But
100%.
When I was younger, it really used to bother me. Like, I felt like I almost had to double down and be like, no, I am this good person, and try to explain it away. If you aren't willing to give me the chance and you don't want to get to know me, that's not my problem.
That's funny. I don't know if it's like the area I grew up in, but like I would want to double down on the opposite way, and I would be saying things like, bitch, keep my name out of your mouth. Like, with I hope you guys are watching. And I legitimately, jokes aside, have said that dead serious, like about to snatch somebody's.
So I still mean that energy. So there's two sides to me that I think are very interesting as I'm getting into my 40s. One of them is people still kind of highly underestimate me. Just because I'm more chill now because I'm older, like a bitch will still snatch a wig. Like, still keep my name out your motherfucking mouth. Like, don't play me. Just because I've slowed down, don't forget I will slap you with a braid. These braids will come with a vengeance, bitch. I'm not the one. Like, don't fucking play me either. I just not here for the nonsense.
You know what it is, I guess? Like, I used to be a lot more mouthy. Like, things had to be addressed, right? Yeah. Whereas now, if somebody was speaking negatively about me, I would be like, huh. And I'd just move on with my day.
Right, because I'm too tired now and I really don't give a shit.
And like, the thing is like, if it happens, like, I'm in the moment, say it was happening like to my face and it wasn't just like secondhand information, like I could still see myself getting a little aggro, to be honest. Like, like I know who I am, and there's just certain things.
Oh yeah, there's still certain things that'll get me high fee.
Yeah, like I'll get high for sure.
Yeah,
and not high fee.
High fee.
It's a difference.
There's a huge difference.
No, I know what you're saying. Like, don't get it twisted, you guys. I will still fuck you up.
Oh yeah, don't
I mean that with like. From the bottom of my heart. I was even joking around with my husband the other day because, and my parents, we were talking, and it was actually so embarrassing. And I think for the first time, my parents were really embarrassed about it. Like, every major sport we ever did as kids, there was a giant altercation between my parents and another one.
Yes. I mean, we've only heard the one cheerleading story, so.
I thought that was normal. Like, I was just like, oh, these crazy sports parents. It's actually not. You might have like the one annoying mom who's like too involved, and then you might have like the group of like mean moms, and then the group of like dads who are like living their glory years to their kids again. Like, I'm sure we're always going to find that. But as far as just like intense altercations, like I actually don't think that has to happen. Whereas I just thought it was like a part of the experience.
Right. You're like, this is just a natural interaction. Turns out, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Mom, dad. Sometimes you can walk away. One time my dad... See, these are unnecessary things. Why I'm changing. I'm evolving.
You're evolving.
One time we were late coming into a cheerleading meeting, and the woman had kind of scoffed at my dad, like poo poo. And my dad, being the cool, calm, collected guy said, "Well, I remember when people made their own clothes." And referred to her as a pilgrim.
And that's like the sort of insult you don't come back from. Because if somebody called me a straight pilgrim to what's the comeback?
Straight pilgrim.
What do I call you?
And the fucked up part is like everybody thought she looked like a pilgrim. Like I immediately saw it like as he was painting the picture.
It hit her.
And unfortunately for my fucking dad and me is like, that's hilarious.
Hilarious.
On top of an already very tense situation.
Instant hilarity.
So that's where I come from.
Yeah, well, and it's my thing is like, even though my knee cracks when I get out of bed, I'll still crack you in the face. I don't care. I'll take a few a leave. I'm not the fucking one.
Full circle though. I was joking around with Ian and I was like, I'm like way better now. Like, I just don't have a need to say something all the time. You can just take a back seat. You can just let things roll off the old shoulders now. But I laughed because I was like, I love working for myself. I'll fucking catch a case. I will call those motherfuckers. Boss said it's fine. Got to sit this one out for 30 days.
Yep.
Like, I will fuck you up.
Fuck you up.
But you know the cool thing, and I'm
And I
sure
might
you're
fuck you
really
up every
going to
time I see
understand
you.
this about getting older, is it's like there's a calmness in that, whereas you used to have to like be jumping up and down and yelling and like you're getting all hyped up. Like, I'm so hyped deep inside all the time. Don't let this like tired, calm nature fool you. It's because it's like ready to crack.
Yeah. Like sometimes my exterior is simply just me wanting the outside world to know I don't want to engage in a convo.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to help you
1000%,
find
yes.
something. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be necessarily engaged in like whatever's going on with you. But like inside, there's a constant rage that's always festering.
Yeah.
And will light you and your body on fire.
Yeah. That's how I feel. It's never going to go away. Like, I don't think it ever goes away. But you definitely, you pick and choose your battles now. Because that energy can't be expelled constantly. Whereas, like, when I was younger, it was like, I was like on a 9.5 at all times.
Oh, yeah. And then don't let me get a Red Bull. I'm at a 10.5.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to check out Fatal Attractions?
So, I
just want to say really quick to cut you off. So I had a bunch of people DM me and personally text me, and they were dying. They were like, bitch, I thought you were being wild about this. Oh my God.
You didn't even tell the story right, because
I never do. I told you I'm getting older.
Well, the funny thing is normally, like, I would say even both of us in our history, we might exaggerate a story to the point where it's like more better.
Wait, which one did you watch?
No, the Venom one.
So there's like 20 Venom ones.
The one where he was declining the anti-venom.
No, not that guy. So there's a younger kid with long, dark brown hair. He might be, when he died, I think he was, he is definitely dead. So if you see a guy telling the story, that is not our main character. He is dead. His wife and his friends are telling the story because that guy died. The one that I posted about the guy with the anti-venom, I actually had never seen that one.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, that's insane. And it's funny, the doctor who's like, talking after him, he's like, you have to be
a complete narcissist
to say like no anti-venom today.
Right. I'm gonna write this one out.
Let it ride.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see how this shakes out.
What is that? And how his face is still working completely. I thought for sure it was gonna be like a Bell's palsy situation.
No.
And he's actually fine.
I mean, other than his fucked up hands, yeah. I mean, I guess you always have to depend on how bad do you need your hands.
And he had a room full of them.
They all do. You guys have got to watch the show. It's
one
insane.
thing. Like I think it's super reckless to have like one in a cage.
I just think it's super reckless to have any animal that can take you out at any point. I don't understand why you would do it. Like one small bite. Like Max bites Bill at night when they're sleeping. They have this cute little relationships where Max, every night we have a large enough bed that Max can sleep on my side in the middle. No, he likes to sleep right at the base of Bill's Jimmy legs. And I've told you that Bill might as well have been a nom because he talks and moves in his sleep as if he has horrible PTSD. Like he's like yelling out like, Charlie, no, no, get his legs. God damn it. Where's the copter? Call for backup. Last night he was just spelling out his name forwards and backwards like 100 times. I let it ride. I think it's super cute now. Anyways, when he kicks Max will bite him on the feet.
Yeah,
like,
if I get kicked in the middle of the night,
I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna bite you too. So can you imagine if every time Max bit Bill, he was like, should I get the anti-venom or should I let it ride? Like that's an insane thing to do. Insanity.
It is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. How was your week?
The old week. It was cruising by. My son turned 4.
I know.
My little poo-poo.
Really cute party.
I wish it could have, like, it was the first time that he recognized his birthday. And that's a really cool age for kids. The anticipation is really, really fun. It really does bring the magic alive. And we all fucking dressed up. Every single member of his family.
I saw that.
Dressed up as an Avengers character.
So cute.
And we showed up for him.
You guys, but can I tell you what's kind of great about him remembering this first one? I know that like we don't want to like think as COVID having some positives, but a positive is you really set the tone. Because the problem is some parents go way too big right out the gate, and then your child expects that every fucking time. Now he's gonna expect 6 people every year.
Yeah.
And when he gets 12, he's gonna be excited, and when he gets 22, he's going to be fucking mind blown.
Yeah, when Ian and I were talking about it, it was funny looking around at our family, and everybody's like really good at participating and shit. So he really doesn't need any friends. I'm not going to allow that. I think it's weird, but he is like well equipped.
Yeah,
with a pretty good support system, and it was really sweet. We did actually separate the party, like half of my family and then half Ian's family later in the day.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like it's almost there. Why put 20 people in a house together?
No, you don't chance it at this point.
It's just not. It wasn't smart, so it was a little bit of bummer, but actually, it really turned out nice.
You guys all looked great, by the way.
We'll have to post
seriously,
a picture.
Everyone's photos. I think I reposted the picture of you, Ian, and the baby, but the one of like your aunt and your mom, like everyone just came. Your mother-in-law looked so great.
Oh my God,
she
Captain
looked so
Marvel
great.
was so
she
cute.
looked so great.
My mom and dad came as Hawkeye and Black Eye. His name is Hawkeye, and we kept joking around because we're calling is it Hawkeye or is it Hot Guy?
Hot Guy.
And they looked so good. It was actually odd. Like they should just. I was like, you never ever need another costume. Like you have grandsons. You won. Like you got it.
You got it.
My sister-in-law came
she looked
as
really
Wonder
great.
Woman.
She looked great.
My God.
Everybody was like, this is how you know people are ready to go back to events, because even a child's birthday, they went all out. They were just like this is
full send.
Yeah, like this is Halloween and this is like the superhero crawl 2014. People went hard at your house.
They did go hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
It was great. I saw another one of our family, Rosalia and her sister threw for her dad. Did you see that?
That was hard too.
The Vegas. That was so cool. Like for a minute, I was like, these bitches went to Vegas. And then I was like, oh, they didn't. But it like warmed my heart. It made me feel so good inside.
We're all ready.
Everyone's ready. Everyone's ready to get back to
guys.
partying.
It's Friday. It's been a week.
So I'm going to update you about how my week was.
Yeah.
As you know, MLK Day was this week. And so, I love MLK Day. I always end up having to work for the man on MLK Day, which is fine. But my day started out with my white husband having the day off and his black wife having to go to work. So I found that just ironic. It was like the irony is not lost on me. So that's how my day started. And then right around lunchtime, we were kind of joking about it throughout the day. I had this patient and I was going to take out stitches, and I didn't want it to I was trying to make sure it wasn't dehissing, meaning when you start to take them out, if it splits apart, you don't want that because infection can set in. So if you want to take out the stitches slowly if you're not 100% sure. So if it does start to open, you stop, you strip it, you let them go. They come back in a week. So I was taking him out really slowly, and she's older, in her 70s and 80s, 70 or 80s. And so she's bent over, she's on a stool, I'm on a stool, and I'm like right near her butt crack. And then all of a sudden, I hear
You got some ass to the face.
And she just like instantly buried her hands in her face. And I like poked my head around and I go, did you just fart in a black woman's face on MLK Day? Is that what just happened?
Would it have been better if she was black too?
Yes. Yeah. Because she would have known the significance, and she would have said, I got a loaded gun. Get out of the way. Much like an Uzi, I'm going to spray this bitch. Watch out. No, right to the face. Right to the face. And I was wearing like a face shield and a mask. Went right through it.
It's right really funny.
And I told my husband I was laughing because I go, the fucked up thing about a fart is, even if you hear it, you got to do just a quick, because you don't have a choice, right? Curiosity kills you.
Well, it's like an instinct.
Right. It's an instinct. So you're like, what kind of a shitty human being are you? Do you drink water? Do you eat fucking vegetables? Do you take your vitamins? Because you can tell in one fart, just one small fart, how good poison a person is. Are you drinking alcohol and no water? Huh? Smoking 2 packs a day?
So funny. Yeah. I have a fart story this week too.
Oh, do tell.
People were just farting this week.
Everyone was gassy. Everyone was gassy. It was a gassy kind of week.
That is so funny.
I said, you almost blew me out of here.
You know what? Don't let me forget. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so my fart story, but I got to write this down so I can't forget.
The punchline? No. I think I know the punchline.
So I'm in good old TJ. I had a few minutes to spare. I was looking for some organizational things for the salon.
Yeah.
So I run in. I got 20 minutes, on the dot when you're timing traffic.
Right.
You want to get a Starbs, maybe a little egg bite.
Right.
You got a whole thing. So I run in 20 minutes and I'm going around the bin area and there I see this old couple bickering. Yeah. And it's very cute. She's like, well, Todd, what are you looking for?
Yeah, and he's like, die. Yeah.
What was in there always.
Right. He's like, you're the problem. You're the problem, Bev.
This is about the extent of that conversation.
Yeah.
And so he walks around the aisles just real angry and I come around the corner and he had tried to find some privacy.
Oh, no. Because he was going to let her rip. He was going to let her rip.
Yep. Fart stories give me every time.
They really do. You're dying. I like it.
So he turns the corner and he gives his leg a little kick.
Oh, he's got to let it out. That's a real fart. That's a fart he's been saving up. When you got to shake a leg, that's a fart you've been holding in. That's the kind of fart you don't know if you're going to shit yourself or not.
And so I think...
This really got you.
So I think the reason he was so upset about the bin...
Because he had to fart. Yeah, it's like when you have to shit, you start to get aggressively angry. Or if you're constipated, you start to get aggressively angry.
Start sweating.
Yeah, you're like a kid. You're starting frustrated and you don't know why.
You're like, I don't know, get the fucking bins. I mean, he was getting agitated.
And she doesn't know what's going on.
She can't hear it.
Right.
He farted half the store.
Yeah. You're like, why am I smelling this over in the pot and pan aisle?
And you know what I love about guys that old who know it was offensive is they say and acknowledge nothing.
At all.
He saw me. We made eye contact.
Nope.
Didn't even say an excuse me.
Nope. Just business is biz as usual. At least my lady had instant shame. She threw her head into her hands.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and she was like,
in her 70s. She's so sad.
Well, can I tell you what the warning was?
Vulnerable.
This was the warning. She did go like this. She's been over and she goes, right before it was released, the Kraken was released, she goes, uh-oh. And that's when I should have known. But I thought she was referring to the stitches. Like, uh-oh, here she goes. Because I was starting at that point. Boy, when I heard those, it just sounded like popcorn popping. And I was like, oh, no, did you just fart? And, of course, I was going to have fun with her. She was so embarrassed. And I just looked around. She was like, I'm so sorry. Did you just fart in a black woman's face on MLK Day? That's brave. So that's a hostile. If I didn't know you, that's a hostile move. That is a hostile move.
I don't care what setting we're in.
I don't care what setting we're in. That is a hostile move. You were trying to make a point. She was so cute. Yeah, it was very adorable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's how my week was.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, but it was a great week, even though I got farted in my face.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Listen, things happen.
Under any circumstances, a fart to the face, it sets the tone.
I'm not gonna lie, definitely. And in my office we have a black doctor that works there now, so I went and shared the story with him because I was like, "You're the only one that's gonna get the hostileness of this." Yeah, and so he had a good laugh. It was good. These days we need a good.
God, you guys,
we need some good laughs. So I'm not about I don't take it too seriously. It's not like I was like, I guess I can't believe this older white lady farted in my face. She farted right in my face. Yeah.
What accent?
I don't. It was.
Is it like Scandinavian?
It was like a older English like.
It sounded Nordic.
Like
you had a Nordic.
When you don't know if someone's from Ireland or England.
No, I mean those are very distinct.
No, because there's a couple little small towns in England that you're not sure. You're like, oh, that's a different accent.
Oh, the way because you can't understand a fucking
word they're saying, right?
Yeah.
And so when I can't understand, I assume, but you're still speaking English, I naturally assume you're from Ireland, because an Irish accent is
you like the coppers, eh?
I love when you do an accent. It's so wild.
It's actually pretty good. Because when I think about being a real British Polish lady, I can do. But then sometimes you just want to be a whore for the streets.
That's pretty good.
It's not too bad.
I'm not great at accents.
A little rusty.
I am not great at accents.
I used to be I couldn't even hear an accent for a while when I was a kid. I couldn't even hear one without mimicking it immediately.
You still do it. Do you not forget the interview that we did where you literally, I had to keep kicking you under the table.
Yeah,
being like, he's going to think you're mocking him. I know that you're an insane person. And like, much like someone who steals your identity, she's just like picking up on your natural fucking accent
like,
and taking it on. Help it. Right, as if you're them now. Oh, you do it all of, I think it's hilarious.
Even in the South.
You do it if someone has a Southern accent, if someone has a slight speech impediment, I've heard you do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, no. They're going to think she's making fun of them.
It's sure. Like my brain immediately has to like.
It's like looking for a new challenge.
Yeah, it's like it has to try
I could do that too. Because I've told you, we've gone down the dimples road, but like I wanted God to give me dimples or an accent.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is my accent. Yeah. Sometimes people hear me and they're very confused. So I think there's something.
Where do they think you're from?
They always think I'm from the Valley of California somewhere. They're always like, "Are you from Northern California?" I'm like, "No."
Mm-hmm. I feel like Northern California is, or no. If anything, it would have to be Southern California because like Northern California is just full of like. Dead people in the hills and like weed farmers.
Yeah, but you also get a lot of like that valley sound. So you're getting like that valley girl sound where it's like when you start getting to LA and like when you start getting in those areas because it's such a melting pot. So I think
I don't know. You should.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
No,
maybe
they're
you're
talking
right.
about Southern California.
Maybe they're talking about
sometimes
SoCal.
When you listen to those people talk like beach towns or no, it's like more Central Valley stuff.
Yeah,
they have a very. I could kind of see it.
Well, I think that because we're from
if anything,
Reno,
I would hear you. If I had to guess, I would think if anything, just due to personality, I would go East Coast. I would not go West Coast.
Really?
Just because I feel like people from the East Coast are more aggressive.
Well, I'm obviously aggressive, but when I'm being super nice to people, they automatically hear that Valley girl. And I used to sound, I mean, it used to be, I've tried to over the years break the tone because I grew up.
But we also didn't stand a chance in the early 2000s because the way we were speaking was so fucking stupid.
Really dumb.
I really mean that.
Like
we just said that because we have, as this generation, I was listening to a girl our age, if not younger, possibly younger.
Yeah.
On the radio, like an actual radio station.
Yeah.
And she said it was
an amazing amount of time.
An amazing amount of time. And she was getting her point across, but I remember thinking, wow, this is the new way we speak on like our top levels as far as like
intelligence. Like this is how we blow people out of the water. So like dude, bro, rad, those top and fuck. If you are from this area, those are the top 5 things you're gonna say all the fucking time.
What did I used to say? Sweet. I used to say sweet all the time.
Like if I'm mad at you and I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. Oh, really, bro? Okay, dude. All right, bro. Like that, I will mix. If I'm real hyped at you and I'm being petty, you're going to get a lot of dudes, a lot of bros. Yeah.
All pro, bro. For sure.
I have that. I'm telling you, you want to make someone mad? The next time someone's angry at you, your spouse, whatever, just be like, all right, bro. Whatever, dude. Okay,
I don't recommend that, by the way.
No, unless, like, it better be someone you dislike. Like someone at work that you're trying to be passive aggressive
to. Might as well piss on that grave.
I'm telling you, I have almost gotten into some fist fights. Naturally, most women don't want to just fight me, but I've almost gotten into some fist fights being like, whatever, bro. See you, dude. Mm-hmm. Okay, girl. Mm-hmm. Whatever you say, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would not imagine how bro and dude will put someone that either can be a term of endearment.
Yeah.
You're also going to get a lot of bitch. Like, bitch, what? Bitch, if you don't,
I don't
like
even,
in a loving way.
Yeah, I don't say bitch at all derogatory.
Oh no, bitches
like that's reserved for my friends and family only.
That's it. You better know I care for you. If I'm like,
the only time it gets negative is if I'm like, bitch, wake up. Like that.
Or if I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch? Bitch, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
Like when I but
it's
can
like a
also
light
tell
warning.
Right. So it's a warning
before
shot.
It gets crazy.
It's like when the
'Cause
lady
if I call
farted
you
in my
bro-
face and she went, uh-oh. That's what that is. That's the warning
Bitch, I'm
before the
sorry.
shot. Yeah, that's it. So, but I'm over the years I've become. I'm okay. I don't care what anyone thinks about me. Really, true. I really don't. If you don't like the way I sound, I mean, I don't tell you. I'm not thrilled about it either. So that makes two of us.
I don't really mind how I sound. It just turns out that I only have one type of voice, and there's no accent. Nobody's ever confused me from being somewhere exotic, but they have at least weekly, consistently. Somebody always asks me if I'm sick. They're like, "Oh, so you're not feeling well?" And I'm like, "No, just me."
I get that a lot too. I get a lot of
I'm
did
a
you just wake
nasally
up?
bitch.
Actually, I think I said that to you today. Did you just wake up, bitch? And you were like, "Girl, I've been up for hours."
This is me.
Like, oh, sounds like you just tousled out of bed.
It sounds like there's not enough air escaping.
No,
like
you know what it
can't
is? That's
come
not
out the
it.
nose.
That's not what it is. Oh,
What
it has
is
something
it?
to do with your nose. So you have vocal fry. And so do I. So when you and I haven't had enough liquid in the day or our throats are not lubricated enough, easy man, you tend to have that, it gets more crackly.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
for
indicative
sure.
of just waking up, right? Most people have kind of a scratchier voice waking up. Who's the gal from One Tree Hill? Sophia Bush.
Oh, I love her voice.
Beautiful. But her voice, right? She's got that vocal fry. I sound sick, even though she's not. I think she's so beautiful. I just think, it makes me so bummed out that like she's not married. But like maybe she doesn't want to be married. But like I just want her to have
snatch that off the street.
She's had some pretty great men. I think when you get in a long-term relationships and you don't ever neither one of you get married, and then you get to that awkward stage where you're like, oh, I'm 40. So that's a thing we're doing now. She's banging.
I actually made a point in my life to not do that.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of relationships for sure heading that direction.
Yeah,
and I said, nay,
not I. Yeah.
So, in true Hate Journals fashion, I didn't tell you something I needed to. I personally got a few requests via DMs.
Yes.
About a topic that was requested.
Ooh, okay.
And since you are a peruser of all things internet, and if we have to pause for a few minutes
I'll probably know.
Have you heard about
Do you hear how arrogant that was? Oh, no. Go on.
Well, it's your hot goss. It's
okay. All right.
It's pretty relevant,
all right.
I think, to your life for whatever reason. Have you heard about the Armie Hammer drama? So I'll just share with you.
Armie Hammer drama.
So Armie Hammer is a B-list actor at best. So
this is an actual...
Yeah, we are going to... I wanted to play... I was going to send you a little tidbit about him.
What does he do?
He's an actor.
This person can't be important. I've never heard this name in my life.
I've never heard it
Who DM'd
either.
you about this? What's happening?
No, avid listeners who are very excited to hear us, but they really wanted...
Oh, I know who Armie... Yes, denies ex-page...
So here's the thing.
Okay. Oh, he branded her.
Yes, and he's into cannibalism.
Okay.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
So he got caught with all those texts.
Yes.
About how
that were like, I want to eat you.
Well, I want to eat you, but like I want to
consume you.
Well, yeah. I mean, and torture the body and then like nurse it back to health.
Yeah.
Only to ravage it more.
Right.
And then at the end, like he goes through these like incredibly graphic details with this girl. But I find one part very cute.
You're like,
if you
will. Love.
He goes at the end, he goes, yeah, I'm a cannibal. I want to eat you. And then it's like
Which sounds like sexy. And then you're like, oh, you mean fucking eat me. Though.
Well, none of this at all is remotely sexy. None of
Depends on what you're into.
No.
I read it. Yeah, I read it. Yeah. I saw it on Twitter earlier this week.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's fucking brutal. But at the end, which I thought was like kind of sweet, like, wow, self-discovery. He goes, wow, I've never said that out loud. That's scary.
I bet you have.
Like, he said all of those things. He wasn't even talking about, like, all the descriptive things that he just said, like, that only live in, like, Ted Bundy's mind.
Yeah.
That wasn't what he was referring to. He said the words, I am a cannibal. And then that like spooked him. Like he was like, whoo, how freeing.
Oh, finally got to
like
tell
really
someone.
let his hair
But
down.
that's how like most rapists are. You know, they're like, they are not, I shouldn't say rapist. He's not a rapist. Oh, not that I'm aware of. But I'm just saying most people who do like things that aren't.
He wants to like.
They usually end up sending a text or saying
I think taboo is not an appropriate word for this.
Okay, but you see the lack of like surprise. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Well, because you're not remembering that documentary I wanted you to watch about the guy from Germany who was on the deep dark web. And you guys look this up.
Yes, I did watch it.
Remember the one where he ate the guy's penis?
Oh no, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, I was like, you
okay, but
that.
You're always on the deep dark web. So
no. So this was a documentary. Remember I told you guys there, and it's still, I think it's still available. It's called freedocumentaries.com. Seriously, go on to it. They have some great documentaries. But I heard about this case in Germany. So much like the case about the guy and the horses and the fucking.
Yeah, that was the one I watched.
Okay, so in Germany, at the time, there was no law against eating a human being. Right? So this guy lived with his mother. They lived
Germany was living pretty lawless for a while.
They were living La Vida Loca, if you will.
Sorry, guys.
There was a guy that was living there with his mom for a long period of time. And if I'm not mistaken, it was just him and his mother. And they lived there forever. Like, he never left her. The house kind of started to get dilapidated, and definitely they became kind of hoarders. And towards the end of her life, he started being bored at night. You know, as you do, and you start getting on the web, and it got darker and darker. So he started getting in these chat groups about eating a human being.
Yeah.
And the more he started getting into cannibalism, the more he really got interested. And so we're able to go back. Honestly, number one, he's still alive. Number two, they were able to track back and get some of the people. The guy who was doing the documentary, he actually was able to get in touch with some of the people. The guy who went to prison was really open, was like, here's the emails. Like, this is what we were all chatting about. So it was really interesting to see firsthand what he was talking about. So anyways, nonetheless, he had built a cage after the mother died. He had built a cage down in the basement. And he basically kept getting people who were like doing what Armie Hammer was doing, was like, yes, I'm into it. I want to do it. I'm down too. I want you to eat me. Right. And then they would get there and then they were like, oh no, I meant like play eat me. I didn't mean like really eat me. And so he'd be like, well, fuck, I got to let him out of the cage. So he would let it. He never held anyone against their will. But he finally met a dude who lived in France. And the guy was married to a man, and him and his husband had been together, I think, for years, 20, 30 years. Yeah. Beautiful home, apartment downtown, like just really successful couple. And the husband did not know that his husband was doing this at late at night. Like, he'd be like, I can't sleep. He thought he was on the web, maybe like jerking off at most. Little did he know he was on the deep dark web. So one day the husband comes home to a note that says, basically, I can't tell you where I'm going. I will be dead. You'll never see me again. Please know that, like, I love you. This has nothing to do with you. Like, you are a great partner. This is something like deep down that I must do. And he didn't really explain to his husband what he was going to do.
I don't know why it feels funny to me already, but
this is a wild story. Wait, you guys, I'm going to tell you guys the story. I'm going to tell it as quick as I can. But trust me when I tell you, I am giving you cliff notes. Bitch, go watch it. Because I believe the documentary is like an hour and a half. So anyways, long story short, after him and this guy had been corresponding, and the guy was like, okay, I've been tricked a few times. I mean, like, you really want me to eat you? And the guy was like, no, my dream is to have someone cut off my dick in front of me and eat it. And I want you to video it. Like, they worked out terms and conditions to them eating, him getting the penis and him eating the penis and him watching it. Like, he wanted it videotaped. He understood that he would die from the wound. He understood all of that. So they plan a date. And he packs up a bag, very little stuff, because clearly he's not coming back. Flies over to Germany, ends up needing to take a train. The guy meets him at the train station, and the guy knew that he was going to be probably try to back out like much of the other ones did, kind of lose his nerve. So the guy planned for it. He had a fucking bag full of schnapps, vodka, like Robitussin. And he basically, the guy was like in the train station and said to him, this is the only reason he went to prison. The guy said to him, you know what? I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. This is too much. I don't want to do it. And the guy was like, you know what? have some alcohol, get some liquid courage. Let's see how you feel after you've downed a whole bottle. So he did. They go in the parking lot. The guy downs a whole bottle of vodka. Fucking whole bottle of vodka. Meanwhile, this nut job has a whole bathtub filled with ice, ready to go. Video camera set up. They go back to his house. He's got the frying pan ready, cutting board. On the documentary, you watch part of the video. So he goes in the bathroom and you can hear him getting in the ice, and they're putting ice on the penis, and you can hear him shivering, and he's just drinking more booze. And at this point they run out of alcohol. So now he's drinking like mouthwash. And he's like, okay, do it. And he cuts the penis. I'm going to tell you the story only because the kicker is the best part. So he cuts the penis off. Guy is bleeding to death. Okay? He's in the bathtub, and from the bathtub, you have a clear shot of the kitchen. He starts to cook it up. Little olive oil, little seasoning salt, little garlic, as you will. Throws that penis in there, cuts it up. He musters up enough energy to get from that tub as he's bleeding to death, to make it to the kitchen, to sit in the chair, to eat his own penis. And he looks at him on the camera. You hear him say, it's a little overcooked. And then he dies. Yeah. Yep. He literally looks at him and goes,
what?
A little overcooked. And you hear him put his fork down. He does not finish his portion. And the guy basically...
You're not going to die with a bad meal. Rather go hungry.
That's all I'm saying. So the guy dies, and he basically chops the body up and eats him little by little. And I think by the time the police got tipped off, he had eaten like the thighs, most of the thighs, couple arms. He had eaten a lot of them over a year. And the only reason they found out was because he was running out of meat. So he wanted to line up his next person. And every guy that would come to the house that he would like engage in this like sexual activity with, he told the one guy, oh yeah, a guy died here. I ate him. And the guy didn't believe him. And he goes, oh no, like he's in the freezer. Like, real talk, he's in the freezer.
Because these guys are coming on the pretense of being eaten.
Right, like he's
they're
like
still coming to play
right, like
their
he's
cannibalism
like, right,
game.
he's like gang. But he doesn't know this guy's playing Barbies and this guy's playing real fucking Ken and Barbie. So he opens the fridge and sees the head and fucking realizes...
They always keep the head.
What else do you do with it?
I don't know. I just feel like that's like number one. I feel like... I don't know. It's always bizarre to me that they always keep the head. Like, so many of them keep the heads.
Foot, he still would have known shit broke. I mean, shit went left. It didn't go left. It went right.
Went down.
Yeah. So the guy ends up calling the police, and they basically didn't know what to do with them because there was no law against cannibalism in Germany, in this little town that he lived in.
But it was murder, right?
No, the guy consented on the video. The guy is sitting in the chair and goes, I'm consenting to him cutting off my penis. I want him to cut it off. I want him to eat it. Where he fucked up was, one, the guy was intoxicated. Where he fucked up was, it's like when you watch the crime show and you're like,
yeah,
if he hadn't told anybody, he wouldn't have got caught. And then I always have to remind myself, no, bitch, we wanted him to get caught. Stupid.
Yeah.
But then you're like, if you just would have done it right.
Yeah.
Anyways, they said that if he hadn't been intoxicated, and if he, to his own volition, said when they were in the train station, when they were in the car.
How do they know about what they said at the train?
Because he told them. He told the police he didn't see anything wrong with this. He was like, we did this legally. Right. Yeah. He's like, I don't understand the problem. He wanted me to eat him. That was his life dream. He told his partner. He left all of the paperwork in his husband's name. Like, he's set up to leave to get eaten. It's not like he kidnapped this guy. It's not like he got him there under false pretenses.
I mean, I hate to say it like this, but like,
well, that's what a lot of people said. If the guy wanted to get eaten. So anyways, they had to change the law. So, long of the short is, he overcooked it. The long of the short is, cook it slow and low. But my point is that, I don't know. I think that there obviously is something mentally wrong with people who are like, I want to eat you.
Yeah.
Like, there is something that's not a normal mechanism in the brain. It's almost like, when another person is in a fight with somebody and they bite them, but they never bite hard enough to actually rarely do you hear about someone when they're like fighting for their life, where they're like, they ripped out their jugular or they ripped out because there's something in the brain that stops you because of your own pain sensors that stops you from actually ripping out the skin, even though we probably could, but you don't because
look at these. They're made for that.
They're made for fucking ripping shit up. I think there's
so
something
funny. I
mentally.
always think about that. Mm-hmm. I always think about that. I'm like, you have teeth. I bite my husband hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't like rip out his jugular, but like when we're really getting at, if he gets me into a position where I'm uncomfortable and I'm pissed, I'll bite the fuck out of him.
You just bite.
If I can catch like a good side. Oh yeah. You bet your ass.
Well, the problem is obviously we're not lions, tigers, and bears. So like over time, our teeth have become.
Some of us aren't.
Are become very dull, and so and
Bitch,
not to mention
these chomp down on you.
Yeah, if you really wanted to pull away in some shit, you could. But the sensor in your brain stops you because it feels like flesh. And we're not used to biting on fucking flesh. Yeah. So my point is that, like, if that's really happening, it's the same with people cutting themselves. When they're upset and you see girls who, like, cut their arms up.
Yeah.
That to release that anger feeling, that is something that, like, you need to take a pill for or see someone. Like, no shade. Like, I don't think that there's anything. I know what you mean. I don't think that, like, Armie Hammer, it's got to be embarrassing for him, only because he does not see what's wrong with what he said and did. He really doesn't.
He does, because he's denying all of this.
He's doing that because one thing he socially knows it's wrong. There's a difference between socially knowing something is not acceptable because it's taboo, but deep down, he may be a part of a group of people that are totally into this. Like I said, this guy who was in Germany... Sure. It wasn't like he was on the internet alone. I mean, he literally was like, I was weeding through emails hundreds a day of people wanting to come to my home and do this.
Yeah.
So I do believe that there are a group of people,
1,000%,
who are into this. So to him, he knows it's taboo. He doesn't want to lose being an actor. He doesn't want to go down in history as being a weirdo. So he's going to say all the right things.
I'm telling you right now why I would not want to be a famous person and or somebody with enough money that you might as well be famous, right? Because there's two recognitions. There's famous and there's rich. And sometimes when you get rich enough, those two just blend together.
Yeah.
And it's so bad. It is so bad for you. Because all of a sudden you get,
No, you know why? This is only mad for men. Because men don't know how to shut the fuck up. If you want to talk about cannibalism, you know what you do? You do what Dave Chappelle does at his goddamn show. Bitch, you better leave your fucking phone at the door. I'm going to frisk you for a fucking wire, and we're talking about it in person. Now, if you want to go out and tell the tabloids, it's your word against mine. But it's like, if you want to talk about kooky shit, be smart. Don't fucking do this shit in a day and age where your phone literally backs up every morning and every night, and your phone's like, "Oh hey, did you mean to delete this? Here you go. It's right back in your fucking phone." Like, you're a dumbass. This isn't
Feetmeats.com.
Yeah, this isn't.
Do you want this saved to your history?
yeah. This isn't 1984 where you're not sure how the internet works. Especially when there's like
family clouds, like you go into the phone and you're like, "What the fuck's Dad looking at?
Fuck is that shit? Why are you into girls with umbrellas? Why are you looking at videos of women twirling umbrellas in between their toes?"
And she just has like an apple in her mouth.
Right.
Like a little pig.
Right.
Did you ever see the documentary called Thought Criminal? The Cannibal Cop?
Gonna say I missed that one.
I don't know how. Because you're on the...
I don't know how.
I don't know how. So he got in trouble. He was actually a police officer, and he was on one of the dark web, and he was talking about like meeting girls and eating them and shit. And they were talking about building him and his bunch of fucking idiots on there.
Oh,
just
idiots.
Like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Just I want to eat titties.
Titties.
And they were all like concerned. They're like, "Oh, let's get this like hut over here." And they all must have lived somewhere around because they seemed to like
Arkansas.
No, it was New York. And they were talking about how they were going to build a giant oven. And they were going to lure women in there.
Gotta be careful with the oven thing. Like Hansel and Gretel?
Put them similar.
Very similar.
From what I remember.
I would have loved if they would have used Hansel and Gretel, the book, and they were like, step 2.
They were like also posting women. And this is like, it's hard, right? Because none of them were ever confirmed. But they were also like posting pictures of their of people that were like pretending to buy them. You know? Well, where he really
Americans don't like when you buy people.
Fucked up is he posted a picture of his daughter and his wife. But he pretended to not know them. So I do believe that there was like a sense of like role play in that.
And you want to like, yeah.
I don't think he really would have eaten. It's
you're going to eat someone. Why draw the line?
That's what I'm saying. Like you know what I'm saying.
At least you know that at least when it's an inside job, you get to decide the outcome. So you're starting to feed these bitches. Like if you're at home right now and your husband starts changing up your diet, be concerned. If he's like, why don't you eat some more leafy greens and some more protein?
Yeah, I've been smelling those farts lately.
I want my meat to taste a certain. I want my meat to be tender. Mm-hmm. I think, okay, again, I think when we talk about comedy, like we consider and joke about shit, obviously. But like there's some things where like you're just mentally ill. Like you just need to like go and see someone and like
I realized where the problem started because his mom actually stood by him the entire time. So he was married to she was actually a very cute woman.
Yeah. He's a hottie bo body.
Had a daughter.
Yeah.
The Cannibal Cop?
No, I'm talking about
Armie Hammer. Yeah, he wants to cut you up and eat you, but like it's not enough to be hot anymore. Like that's when you know you've crossed a threshold, right? You're like, I've had the hottest babes.
But I need to know, like, were you going to do
bloody and dead.
But I need to know, were you going to do it against my will, or were you going to ask me first? Because there is a huge difference. Because if you're, like, saying, I'm never going to, like, if he said right now, today, I believe I'm a cannibal, I would love to eat a human being. I would love to eat a human being. But I'm not going to force someone, and I'm not going to, like, ever actually eat someone. But the idea of it, I'm really obsessed with. Do you? I mean, Angelina Jolie.
Like, a real marriage? Or are you talking like mine?
No, I'm just talking about like Armie Hammer. Like if he was dating a girl, like if he was dating multiple girls, and he was like, I'm in a role playing, but I'm never gonna do anything you don't want me to do.
He was also married.
I'm not gonna. Kids. Oh, perfect. I'm not. But I'm like, whatever the situation is, though, I'm not gonna force anyone against their will. I like if we want to do role playing, fine, but I'm not gonna actually kill someone or like murder someone without them like being on board.
So I know what you're saying,
because
but
Angelina Jolie wore her brother's blood around her neck. And we all seem to breeze past that. She also French kissed. No, I'm sorry. She wore her husband's blood around her neck.
I was going to say, and then French kissed her
brother. That's what it was.
She did inappropriately kiss her brother.
Mm-hmm. And right now she's saving kids in Uganda. So
sometimes you come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe she was like, "What the fuck was I doing with my life?"
Yeah,
and I want a life with meaning. I need to take this money and this fame
and do something
of meaning. I need to stop fucking Billy Bob Thornton stat. No, but the explicit stuff that turns these cannibal people, at least from my experience,
and like now we have an issue,
is that it has to be like violent.
Yeah.
The one guy that you're talking about where he really did, he was like, listen, I don't want to hurt you.
Oh, no, he wanted to hurt. Like, he was talking about, you should hear. Like, I'm just giving you Cliff Notes. But he was like, I want to cut your throat. I want to watch you bleed out. I want to eat your... They're cannibals.
Okay.
I don't think cannibals are like...
Like gentle giants.
Yeah, they're not like, you know what I want to do is take a small section out of your thigh and then let you run off home. No, I think they're like, dude, let me tell you. Because the more they talk about it, the more they get amped up. And that's the problem sometimes with, for me, porn. Yeah. I love porn just like the next bitch, okay? But I do believe, like, even sometimes when I'm scrolling through, some of that porn is so violent that if you're not careful, it can start to then, actually, we haven't been careful. Because what happens is then it breeds a man where if he's single or married or has enough time to, like, think about it, get into that role, almost become obsessively thinking about it, then you end up with this, where you're married, you have a wife, you have kids, and
it's a progressive disease. Yes, I really do believe that. I'm sure Armie Hammer wasn't born like that. I think he probably saw a really explicit woman one time, looking like she was in pain. And then, like, exactly like you said, the ball started rolling from there. I don't know if he's interested in eating men. He doesn't strike me as the type that's interested in eating men. It's the violence. It's the...
Yeah, I don't think cannibals care. Like, the guy who was in Germany, he didn't give a shit. He had women. Like, I think he just wanted to consume human flesh. But women are going to be an easier get for Armie Hammer because, I mean, how is he going to explain, like, having a host of anybody come through?
Well, and I guess, too, like... the signs were all there too. Like he'd have a bunch of girlfriends and they would just be like, yeah, he fucked me up. Like,
yeah.
And then, more people would fuck him, I guess. I don't know. Anytime a guy has been overly aggressive with me in any sense of the term, like verbally, like pursuing me, like
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
It makes me uncomfortable. But then you have to look at it and go, okay, but we also watched 50 Shades of Grey. And there was another, I didn't get that either. So there was a movie that I watched this weekend.
If a guy looked at me and he goes, listen, I'm shoving a bunch of pool balls up your pussy and then you're going to walk around. And then we have like little chick. She's like, hoo, 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 hoo. Like, that's sending the wrong message. Like, if he looks over and he's like, listen, I want to spank your ass. I'm going to be like, listen, you're a little bitch.
Right.
Because if you're still into spankings, like your mom, like something happened. Okay, I'm sorry. Do you want to talk therapy it out and then like have a romantic dinner and maybe like make love? And I'm no fucking prude. I'm just saying, if you want to hit me with a horsewhip, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up on point.
And it's not even funny.
So we're gonna go into a new segment that I've started called "Hey Black Mamba, what you watching?" Don't worry, I'm gonna come up with music. So two things you got to watch this week.
From what you've said over the past 2 years, it's a good segment.
It's a good segment. So this week, there is a movie that I watched called 365. I purposefully Googled on Netflix, or I searched sad movies to make me cry.
I know.
I like to cry at least once a week. So I see this movie and it says, it's got all my favorite parts. An Italian man who's a gangster.
Oh shit, I watched this.
The one where she has 1 year to fall in love with him.
And she's like Polish and he's Italian.
So that was a poor man's 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
What are you talking about?
No.
The only difference, yes, it was.
I actually think the sex scenes were way fucking better.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like a mature adult. This wasn't like a book. This was like she's giving him head and you're seeing pretty much her giving him head.
Yeah.
Without, like, you're seeing flashes of flesh, but not a dick.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
And he's got her way out. Like, he's got her head way out. And I'm like, she's really giving it to him. But like, the ending was hilarious. But the whole movie, while I was watching
I'm not that into.
Right. The whole movie is he kidnaps a woman after he saw her one time after his father was murked.
Yeah.
And said, you must be mine. Tied her up.
So what? Really fast, was she a nurse? Or no. Sorry. Was she a nurse? She wouldn't be a nurse because she's a woman.
No.
Because he saw her on the beach, right? I was super confused about that part.
So she just had like a regular everyday, like I'm a waitress job.
Okay, and then the dad gets killed.
She happened to be out.
That.
Remember, she was with her man, and they just happened to be out on the beach. And when he looks down, and he's like, can't believe, he's like in so much stress, he saw her. And she was on the beach stretching and almost going into the water, and he just like fell in love with her. Which I looked at Bill, and I was like, that's the kind of love I need you to have for me. That like murder kind of love where you're willing to shoot someone in the hands for me. He's like, I am. I just don't say it all the time. And then I immediately found that very sexual. I was like, oh, we can fuck right now. You'll shoot someone in the hands for me. He's like, I'll kill someone for you. I was like, oh, we should fuck right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is one scene in there, ladies and gents, where he has got her tied up and he's like, I want to show you what you're missing. And when he crawled up on her in that bed, like something visceral happened in my body. Like he crawled up on her like a gorilla. Like a gorilla with like his arms.
And he's a big dude.
Oh, I was like, I could watch this. This isn't a stupid movie, but I could watch it no less than 19 more times. So 365, another really great one that you guys have got to watch. So it's on Hulu. You can find it on the Travel Channel. It's called True Paranormal Fact or Faked. Okay? And they go through, it's a team of 6, and they're going to either say this was fake or this was real, meaning it was a real alien or it was a real Bigfoot or it was a real ghost or whatever it is.
How many of them have been fact?
Okay, here's what I will tell you. The reason why Bill and I love the show is because they rebranded the show. I don't know if you guys have noticed this has been happening lately, but they're rebranding shows from like 2000.
Yeah.
And re-releasing them as if they just came out in 2019. So at first I'm like, why are they wearing bell bottoms? Like flared, like the flared jeans. They do a lot of like shaky camera, like zoom in, zoom out, like action shots. And for whatever reason, the background music is so loud. Like you can barely hear them talking. Like they did not think this out. And their budget is huge.
Yeah, they're like flying their team around the world.
Yes. And
I watched this.
You guys, if you have not seen this show, both the movie, this show,
what is it called?
Worth it. 1000%. It's like, meet Brian. Brian's a retired FBI agent. And then there's one guy who talks like this. He's like a wascally wabbit. He's like, guys, we got to figure out whether or not Bigfoot actually happened. And I'm like, oh, you're amazing. And his beard is cut all aggressive like he was in Blade. Oh, you can't write this.
You know, you can't.
But
you
someone
got a
did.
world full of cannibals and reruns. What a time to be in.
Armie Hammer needs it there. He needs to go into a facility. Like people who were like, I'm addicted to porn and I'm going to go to rehab because I cheated on my wife 100 times. No, you're fucking stupid and you're bad at lying and you're bad at fucking, you should have got caught because you're not even good at cheating, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like I would divorce a man who I caught if like I caught you right off rip. Like you were just sloppy. Like if I caught you from a text.
Yeah.
Or if I caught you leaving Starbucks with this bitch, I am lighting all your shit on fire and I'm going to leave you just because you're not even good at it. But like if I find out because fucking cameraman was like, tonight on News Channel 4, and it was like a car exploded in the background and I see you two walking by together, that's like you are doing some good shit. Like when you find out men have had complete other families for like 20 years.
Like, do you even leave him?
That's what I'm saying.
Like if he's been that good of a husband to you to the point you don't know.
Like where you're happy.
Do you even leave him?
Right. Or can we work this out? I'm just saying.
That's a
But like Armie Hammer, that is like you need to go to like a rehab facility.
He says, listen, have I always been good to you? And I'm going to say yes. He's like, I have another family. Hate it. Okay. But
hate it.
I love you. And I love them, right? It's my other family. And I'm like, okay, there's religions built around this shit. If he's like, I want to eat dicks, it's over.
Right.
There is no savior in that.
I just don't want to, like, if I never found out, it's like, did a tree fall in the forest, you know?
You're talking about the other family or the cannibalism? Because no matter what, I'm fucking not into the cannibalism.
Oh, no, I'm definitely not into the cannibalism. I'm at the other family.
If I never found out, I'm like, you just like come home and with dick breath, and you're just you're like,
is that dick and garlic?
You're like, I've smelled that before. Am I right?
Is that dick and I'm tasting hints of sea salt and
it's overcooked.
Rosemary? No, that's a no-go for me. Yeah, that though is rehab. That is when you actually go into a facility.
He should be in jail.
For what?
For being a fucking pervert.
You can't just send him to jail. What, do you want to send him to pervert jail? He hasn't done anything yet. You can talk a good game. You know, okay, I want you to go back to all the men.
I want him in jail.
Really? Because how many men have you met that they're like, I'm going to eat that pussy. I'm going to tear that pussy up. When we finally
Not
fuck.
The same. He's like talking like knife and fork
and
shit.
they're just like, I'm going to tear that pussy up. I'm going to fuck you. So you're going to be screaming down the hallway. Like every month, like you're going to be walking lopsided. And then you fuck and it's like 2 minutes worth. And you're like, okay. You didn't even deliver. He's talking a good game. That doesn't mean he's going to deliver.
He's just like, no.
Right. He's like, right. But maybe he does like, you know, maybe he puts cream of wheat on these bitches and just... Now, I'm not saying I would be into it, but I did tell Bill, like,
jail.
I love that. Like, I need you to love me enough that, like, you don't want me to ever leave. I need you to love me that much.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
Not in, like, a weird way, but in a weird way.
Like, it can only be in a weird way, but then love is, like, a weird way and all, because, like, there's just, like, marriage is marrying and loving the person you hate the most in the world.
That's it. So, like, you annoy me, but, like, I also want you to never, the thought of someone else fucking me makes you want to light the city on fire.
Yeah, and you will.
Yeah, and that I'm into. Mm-hmm. I'm really into that. I'm into sometimes when a man, like, men don't understand the world. Like, your husband and my husband are definitely on some next level shit. 1000%. Our husbands are definitely alpha males. They are not the kind of men. Like, if I come home and tell my husband that I have been disrespected in the slightest bit.
Yeah.
No one understands.
Especially another man. Like, Ian's not worried about me with women. Like, he's like, oh, you'll
You got
just,
this.
but like, if another man,
And he doesn't care what the issue is. He could be.
Oh, yeah.
He does not care. My husband is trying.
Even if I'm wrong.
I've had to talk him out of coming to my job. I've had to talk him out of like my husband is not a joke, and he's like. When he gets the shoes on, like, he's ready to go fuck some shit up. He does not care in that moment.
Yeah.
So, like, I always want to remind people, like, you're worried about me, but you should definitely be worried about my sleeper agent over here. Because all I need to do is enter in the right code, and my sleeper agent fucking, like, born identity fucking, dink, comes alive and starts fucking snapping necks.
Yeah. I would like to take a poll, and I hope people write in. Who thinks that Armie Hammer should be in jail?
Okay, he can't go to jail. You're
I
an
just
insane
want a
person. Why would he go to jail?
I want him in jail. The streets are not safe.
But I do believe that, like, he should be in some sort of, like, inpatient facility for a minute, and then
Like
maybe, like, outpatient, because it really does also depend on,
Like, do I think he needs a
tried to do
therapist?
it?
Like, do I want him in straight prison? No. Do I want him in a straight jacket? Yes. Forever.
The one that he can't gnaw out of, because I don't know if he's been sharpening those bitches
I
up.
was gonna say they look pretty sharp.
Yeah, that's interesting. But sexually, I'm not surprised. I've watched a lot of documentaries.
I'm gonna go home. I gotta watch. I wanted to watch the female horse one. We'll pick up.
Yeah. There's only one thing that I really want to remind you guys, or before we wrap up, and that is just, if you're gonna put yourself out there on the internet. I mean, I don't care one way or another.
I mean, in every way.
Yeah, I listen, I want you to understand, I don't care one way or another. If you want to be out in these streets looking wild, all of you people, I really don't give a shit. It's more shit for me to talk about on this podcast. But there are some people that, like, I really care about. And I think, sometimes when have you ever had a friend or a family member use a word, but they were using it incorrectly?
Yes.
Right? And they used it all the time. It was like their favorite go-to word. And it annoyed the shit out of you because you were like, you are using this word incorrectly.
Yes.
I understand that, obviously, as the country goes on and we all start to move on, things are going to get a lot calmer. And we don't do politics on this podcast, but one thing I found that was so funny this last couple of weeks is I just kept seeing people be like, freedom of speech, it's getting taken our freedom of speech. And I kept having to scream at my phone, and I kept going, terms of service. Does anyone understand the difference between freedom of speech and terms of service, right? Terms of service are like, it's 7-Eleven. When you walk in, it says, no shoes, no shirt, no service. That's their terms.
Right.
That's the agreement. They're saying
you
if
go
you
to
walk
Hawaii,
through
you
the
can
door,
get a bunch with no shoes.
That's it. They are saying if you walk through our gate, our doors, when you pass that threshold, you are now going to acknowledge our rules and abide by them. And if you don't, it's posted. We all know what's going to happen. No service. I'm sorry. No shoes, sir? No service. It's the same thing on social media. You guys can say as much wild things as you want, but when you guys all speed past that privacy thing when you're signing up, that thing that's like 2 pages long that nobody wants to read. By the way, I'm a nerd. I read it all the time. I read where my third-party interest stuff is going to. I read who could get I'm a nerd, so I read it. Oh, I read it every time.
In the slightest.
But if you are going to breeze past that and just hit okay, and sometimes they ask you too, do you want us to email you the terms? Because I feel like you scrolled by that there's some of them now, you can't even hit the agree button. You've got to scroll to the bottom now.
Yeah.
And then hit the agree button before it'll pop up. That means that there are 5 pages of rules that you have got to abide by. No nipples.
Prude.
No clits. Now, you can't do that on Instagram. But on Twitter, you can go on there and pop out a nipple. They don't give a shit. Each platform has different terms of service. And it doesn't matter who you are, okay? You could be the fucking president of the United States. It does not matter. You could be Gandhi, okay? And if they say, you know what? Bye, bitch. You know how many rappers get banned from Twitter a year? I mean, it's wild because they be like, what hoe wants to pull up at my house so I can eat that puss? Here's my ass. I'm not kidding. Happens all the time. And so they have to be like, dude, you're fucking locked out for a year because you can't, we fucking gave you a warning. We gave you a second warning. You're still trying to get that pussy. This is not from Twitter. We've told you before. That's what Craigslist is for.
Yeah.
Do it the right way. God damn it. Get on fucking Tinder. It's
You're
called
telling me there's
terms
not
of
like an
service.
actual service provided to the people who like do that with like pussy train coming through?
No. Like
I don't agree.
You can I strongly disagree. So I'm just saying, before you guys get deep in the dirt with shit, maybe do some research, because you sound wild. There's a difference between when I kept saying they're you be careful if they take away the president. I'm like, the president could still literally hold a press conference in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. and be like, I think that all hats are stupid and I'm banning hats. Like, he could still do that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that any Facebook, Instagram, Twitter has to agree with that and has to put it out.
Right.
I got banned for 24 hours once by accident because I posted something and they thought it was a nipple. And I said, I swear it is not a fucking nipple.
What was it?
It was like the way that I was holding my hand.
It's like an acorn.
The way my hand was sitting, my knuckle, it was low enough down, and I have a scar on my breast. And it looks, if the scar is showing enough, it looks like areola. It's not. And that's back when Instagram was really hitting it hard. And they were like, get that filth out of here. And I was like, no. I swear, it's a burn. What happened was early in 2000.
And they're like, no, save it.
No, save it. So I'm just saying, before you guys sound wild, I do understand. And yes, freedom of speech is very important. I 1000% agree. We wouldn't be able to have this podcast without it. But before you go hard in the paint in something, learn what you're talking about.
Because I just said that somebody who allegedly hasn't made a crime yet, I think he should go to jail.
Right.
I actually vote on that.
You were like, fuck the rules.
I want there to be legislation passed that if you say...
if you just say it.
Say it.
What about if you think it?
If it's documented on paper.
Okay.
Like...
You want him out of here.
I want him in the fucking kooky bins.
Later, Gator. Well, and his family could, right? His family could go to court and they could say, based off these emails, based off these text messages, what did they do to Brittany?
A child they could have.
Brittany didn't even say she wanted to eat a bitch, and she just got off her dad fucking running her life, right? And all she did was shave her head and hit a few cars with an umbrella.
Well,
so I'm just saying, know the law, know the rules, because when you guys go onto social media saying wild shit, you sound fucking stupid. You sound dumb. Because it sounds like as an adult, you didn't do the one thing that we all can do. And I want to implore all of you to do it before I wrap up tonight. I want to remind everyone, Google is free. That bitch is free. She's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know who won't let you down? Google. She will help you out of any fucking mess that you're in. You Google, what do you do if you fucking accidentally think you killed somebody? She'll help you.
What do you do if you cut a dick off somebody who was willing, allegedly?
What do you do if you cut a dick off of somebody allegedly and you get their blood on your brand new crisp silk shirt? How do you get the blood out? Google will have an answer.
Because it's Google, a specific
type of blood. So just heed my warning. And a lot of you are very intelligent. You have degrees. You're smart. Don't get caught up in the hype, baby. Do your research. And this is not just about the president. A lot of you I see do it all the time about a lot of shit. You will go hard in the paint. You'll hear one thing. You're like, we're going to lose. No, do your research. Know the difference between terms of service and the amendment. It's just like two big different things. Okay? All right? And that's going to wrap up this episode of the Hate Journals. You guys do not forget to subscribe. And I'm also going to tell you guys to make sure that you are sharing. I know you guys love this podcast. We love that you love this podcast. Make sure you're sharing with your friends and family. We appreciate it. Also, make sure you're leaving a rating. Give us those 5 stars, baby. They make a difference, and we appreciate it, damn it. I put on makeup for you. It's the least you could fucking do is leave a goddamn 5 stars, okay? I just gave you the best dick story. You're going to be telling this story at dinner. You're going to be the head of a party. Leave us 5 stars.
That is not a joke.
It's not a joke. All these stories I tell you, feel free to re-fucking tell them as if they're your own. That's part of the loveliness of this podcast. You guys make sure you log on to our website, which is thehatejournals.com. And of course, Instagram, The Hate Journals, and Twitter, Hate Journals. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.